I will
Wow.
be in listen. Listen.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I just want to say welcome everyone to the VPE, which is Vice President of Education Excellence workshop series, which happens every first Wednesday of the month. And we have some great tips for you today to end your year strong. And we have a guest speaker, which is Valerie Fuson from District 30. I love working with Valerie. It's been a minute since we worked together because my club used to meet downtown at the PNC community room, and that room since then closed. So we have not seen Valerie Fuson, in person since the pandemic. So it's a treat to have her here. And as you know, we only have 2 months left to really, end the year strong. And that's why I thought it would be great to have a guest speaker like Valerie Fuson to share some tips on how to be engaged and things of that nature. But before I bring Valerie up, I do want to share her background with you. So Valerie Fuson, she is a dedicated Toastmaster for 28 years. Valerie Fuson has embraced leadership and growth at every level, earning the prestigious Distinguished Toastmasters designation, not just once, but she did it 3 times. She has served in multiple leadership roles, including the 2022 to 2023 past district director and other district roles in District 30. Valerie is an active member of 3 unique clubs, including the new one, which is called the Improv Edge Toastmasters. She is currently president for 2 clubs and an advanced club and improv club. Because Valerie leans into all that Toastmasters has to offer, she has gone beyond fear of public speaking and to helping speakers and leaders elevate their communication, confidence, and impact as a certified speaking and improv trainer. Valerie empowers members to embrace leadership, refine their speaking skills, and engage fully in their Toastmasters journey. In this interactive session, Ignite to the Finish, the Vice President of Education, leading clubs to a strong year end, Valerie will discuss in this how VPEs can lead, motivate, and inspire members to lean into Toastmasters. As the vice president of your club, you are in for the cheerleader, motivator. You are, I'm gonna just say it like this, you are the cheerleader, the motivator, the inspirator, and the challenger, and good mom, bad dad, or reverse all in one. Please help me welcome the distinguished Toastmaster, Valerie Fuson.
Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that. Good to see everybody. I am having a little trouble because I thought I could connect my earplugs to my computer, and it's actually bringing up YouTube. So I'm listening to a podcast on my headphones while I'm talking to you. So I don't know how to do that.
No, now you're trying to connect your headphones to the Zoom.
Yes.
So you know where it says video?
Yes, I'm down there.
And then you click on that up arrow and then click on video settings.
Video settings.
And then after that, you go to audio.
So I'm in audio.
And then it should be where it says speaker, the drop down, you should be able to pick your actual headphone. If not, you can do it for both, your headphones and the microphone, because you're gonna be speaking through it.
Okay, I'm just in the lobby.
Because you are coming through clear.
Okay, well, there'll be a little noise here then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Okay, well, people aren't coming in yet. So, okay, so I'll tell them to be quiet when they pass me. All right, so I'm at Harper College right now, and I've got a meeting at 7 that I'm also a speaker at. So, let me just expand this. No, I didn't want that. Okay. So, yes, I'm glad to be here, and I've love to see all the vice presidents of education because that is one of my favorite, plus president too. So it's an important role, and when you understand it, and it's not that hard. So a lot of times, the VPEs are a little afraid when they do it for the first time, but it's actually really fairly simple. And let's see, what I want to do is share my screen. Do you want to, starting share screen will stop other participants' computer sound share?
You should be able to share because I put it on multiple participants, so you should be able to. I don't
Okay,
know why you're saying that.
okay.
And it could have been from the conference too.
Hmm. Sorry about that. There it is. Okay. So, so I want to go over some things. Can you just put in the chat what some of your challenges are? Because I want to make sure that I address all your challenges. And then Valerie, if you can keep track of that. Let's see.
I can.
Sometimes I don't see the chat when I'm on PowerPoint.
And did you want your PowerPoint in presentation mode, or you just want to keep it?
Yeah, I'm moving it over.
Okay.
Where is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah. So so what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing?
I have Sally Boyd, who said her biggest challenge is to get new members speaking. Georgiana said Berna is saying encouraging members to do speeches. So that look like that's a big challenge for clubs now. A lot of clubs like to do table topics, but they're lacking speeches.
Is that it? No more challenges?
Yep. Only have 2 here.
All right. Not too many. That's good. But as we go through, if you want to let me know if you have some challenges, we will cover that. And I want to make sure that we cover everything that you need. So what we're going to talk about today is a VPE's role. And we're not going to go into a lot of detail because that's, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Pathways, the DCP, Distinguished Program, the challenges that you're facing, solutions for those challenges, and engaging members, appreciation, rewards, some way to engage your members and get them motivated, and then interactive. So it's not just me lecturing, it's actually having a conversation with you. And how many people do we have on 13? We got 13 people. Okay, terrific.
We have a couple that came through.
Okay.
So members signed up for roles for a meeting or mentors for new members. That's from Betsy. And then Georgiana said participants, in contests to participate in contests. And then also a distractor who is a member.
A distractor. Okay. So that's something huge, and we'll kind of go over that too. Make sure I don't forget to go over some of these things when we get down to the challenges, if there's still something there. So I want to make sure that we address everything. So as the president, as leader, you've got a big role here, and you're just as important as the president, if not even more important. You've got to manage the meeting, you're managing the contest, you're managing events, you're managing the members, you're managing the mentors, you're managing, I know it sounds overwhelming, but working well with the president, working well with the VP of membership and the sergeant at arms, having a good relationship with all of the other officers will make your role easier. So, as president, you're the cheer, as I said in there, you're the cheerleader, you're the mentor, you're the bad mom, bad dad, good dad. Because sometimes you have to be, leader gets to be a little tough sometimes. Do you agree with that? Put yes or no in the chat if you agree. Sometimes we need to, as a leader, we're going in a certain direction. We want our members to get educated. And if they're not working at it like the disruptor, then why are they there? They're paying money every year, twice a year, to be a member. And so maybe some people think it's a social event, and it can be, but it's also to get the benefit of being a better speaker. And I think, probably 80% of the people that come into Toastmasters do it for speaking, to get over their fear of speaking and to improve their communication skills. Not so much the leader, but eventually being in the clubs and then hopefully getting them out of the clubs and into the district, that they're building their leadership skills. And the leadership skills start in the club. So your responsibility is to make sure that the club meetings are excellent. People are participating, and they flow well. The agenda has to be done before the meeting starts. None of this, and I see it. You're at the beginning of the meeting. You're working on filling the roles for 10 minutes. So I do see that in clubs, and that's not acceptable. That is not an excellence in club management. So the meeting has to be filled before the meeting starts, the day before at a minimum, but a week before, 2 weeks before. And one of the ways to do that is at the end of each of our meetings in all of my clubs. And if I visit other clubs, I recommend it. And when I'm teaching at the TLIs, it's the same thing. At the end of the meeting, reserve 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes for the president closing remarks and the VPEs closing remarks. And I put the VPEs closing remarks portion in the agenda so it doesn't get overlooked. So it's the VPE first and then the president closing remarks. And put in yes if you do that now. I'd like to see kind of where you're at with that. And what you do is you just get up. Okay, we're going to fill our roles for next week. Who's going to be Toastmaster? That's the first one that has to be filled. People do not leave the meeting till that role is filled, because then you're going to have to drag people to it later. So I would say, make sure that that's role filled, your general evaluator, and then your speaker evaluators, your timer, and then remind as you go through the week, people to fill those roles. I would go back to your clubs too. It's the Toastmasters' responsibility, more than yours, but equally, to fill the agenda. If I'm the Toastmaster of a meeting and I get to the meeting and, well, I don't know who's speaking today. Well, there's no timer here. And they're the leader of the meeting. So they need to be prepared, and being prepared is actually making sure that the agenda is filled, that you have your speech introductions and an evaluator for each. So what I do when I'm the Toastmaster or the VPE, I'm texting people during the week, but the night before, okay, I go through the agenda, through the roster. Somebody hasn't been there for a while, I'll text them. Hey, you coming to the meeting tomorrow night? I need an evaluator. Hey, are you coming to the meeting tomorrow night? And you're filling that role, those last minute roles the night before. So that's really key to having a really good meeting, and making sure that the Toastmaster is also on board with you and doing that, because it's nothing like, a Toastmaster showing up and, it's like going to your corporate meeting and the CEO is there. Well, who wants to speak? Do we have an agenda? I don't have an agenda. So it's as simple as that. So that's one way of filling up your role. And then we're going to go through, you're also taking charge of the pathways. But as a leader, you're leading the meeting, you're making sure that all your members are getting trained and that they're going into pathways. And you're also making sure that they're stepping up for those roles, changing the leadership role in the meeting.
Yeah.
I always go, okay, you haven't been a Toastmaster for a month, why don't you be the Toastmaster? You haven't, not that you haven't. Hey, I haven't heard a speech from you yet. Why did you want to speak next week? So and really encourage people to do that. Do you know how to get these working on a laptop?
Are they like just headsets or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, are you on camera?
Yeah. That's okay.
There should be a spot to do voice.
Yeah, I tried to do that, but it didn't work.
Should be able to be a parable device.
So those are some of the roles that you need to be responsible for, and then we'll go over some more. So pathways. How do you like this? Love it or hate it? Raise your hand if you love pathways. Oh, you guys aren't on video. Why don't you guys get on video? Your hair doesn't have to be done. Your makeup doesn't have to be done.
Yes.
Get on video. Your speakers. You want visibility. You want to get recognized. As speakers, how do you know when you go into events? You should always be on video, because especially at work. I know a lot of people at work just are not on video. How can you be seen and get a promotion? How can you be seen to say, hey, I see Sheila all the time. I'm going to have Sheila. She's going to fill this committee role for me because she's just visible and I love her energy. So getting on video is really important for leadership. So hopefully you'll all get on video. So raise your virtual hand then if you're not going to be on video, and let me know. Do you love pathways? Okay. 2 people love it. Do you hate pathways? No. Oh, good. Because it is what it is. I had a fairly new member that was in one of my clubs, and she didn't really like pathways. And so she gets up, she's a VPE, and I'm mentoring her, and she gets up and she says, I hate pathways. And I just about fell over in my seat. You're the VPE. How can you say that? So after she finished speaking, I called her over. You're the cheerleader. You cannot talk down pathways. There are parts of it that we love and parts of it that, need improvement. Sure, we understand that. But it is the educational program we have, and they're trying to keep improving it. So let's be encouraging with it. So I'm glad you guys love pathways. So now let me know, and you can open up your mics along with your videos. What are some of your struggles with pathways?
I don't know that.
Personally, I'm getting bored.
Sorry.
You're getting what?
Bored.
You're getting bored with me or pathways?
Pathways. Not with you.
I was gonna get a little worried there. Ooh.
No.
What do I have to do? I have to, do a little dance here so you don't get bored. What's boring about pathways?
Well, I have finished some, but I have gone through or am going through about 13 iterations of pathways. And I want to do something different. And I was real excited about the explorations until they announced what they were, and neither one of them really interested me. I still want to do storytelling. But I would love to see something advanced for people who are not brand new.
Mhm. And I understand that. How many paths have you done?
Well, I'm not complete, but I've worked on 13.
You're working on what?
I've purchased 13.
You purchased 13 and you completed all 13?
No, I haven't completed all 13. I think I have 4 or 5 still open.
Okay.
But I've completed a good 8 or so.
Okay, congratulations. Good job. Good job. In the old program that I was in, so I'm a DTM and I'm going for my 4th DTM. And it's not about bragging. And people say, oh, you're overachiever. No, I keep speaking. And so every district leadership role that I have, I'm entitled to another path, DTM. So I figured you're doing the speeches already. Why don't you go ahead and, all you have to do is one more project, the DTM project, and I'll have another DTM. So in the old program, I went through all the advanced manuals, and then I did the competent communicator manual, which was the first one with 10 speeches. I did that 13 times. And there's another member in my district that's done all the paths, 12, 13, whatever they were. She did all of them. And I understand it's not perfect. And we've complained about it. Don't complain to your members about it, but we've complained about it. And we can talk about that. The first 2, they did change the first 2 the first 2 levels because we complained about it. We have an international director in my club. And so he, went to international with some of our challenges. And so he says there are some more coming. And we want advanced manuals or paths. So, hopefully that's something in that they're going to come up with. There are when you're going through it, there are ways to do your storytelling in a lot of the paths and a lot of the levels. You're just going to reframe it a little bit so that you do accomplish the objective, but telling more stories. And you can also do one or two that are not requirements in the levels 3 and 4. So there's ways of doing that. There's also, if there's something that you really want to achieve, you can go into the Free Toast host and you can select another non-Toastmaster section on there. But you don't get Pathways level credit for it. That's the only thing. So I understand where you're coming from. It's just trying to see where you could fit one of your speeches into one of the other projects so that you can achieve what you want and yet fulfill the objective so that you can move up into that level. So I hope that helps a little bit. But yeah, we're constantly, we've got a lot of DTMs in my club and the international director. So we're pretty much in touch with international to try and get some things changed for us. So I hope that gives you a little insight.
Thank you. Yes, good to know.
Yeah. So we have complained. That's why they did change level 1 and 2. And I think it's a little bit better, but what we want to see is not so much repeating the same thing in every single level. And that's what we were complaining about. And so they did change it a little bit. Any other challenges with Pathways?
So we have Betsy first, next, and then we have Gigi Georgiana, who's going to be after Betsy.
I don't have any problems with Pathways in and of itself in terms of life.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
Okay, let me turn up my volume.
Maybe just get closer to your mic.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Just a teeny bit.
Well, I have it up really high. Can you hear me now?
It's about the same level.
I'll let someone else speak and then I'll.
That's a little bit better.
Oh, because I was just going to say, skip me. Well, what I was trying to say is that I'm personally okay with Pathways. I was one of those people when we were in the manuals. I had what they call the Toastmasters book, and I went and bought all these manuals. I would speak for one manual, then the other manual, and I barely kept up with anything. Whereas with Pathways, everything is in such order if you follow it. And so I really like that. I guess my challenge as the VPE, so for me personally, it's fine. Me as a VPE, try to set up a time with someone who's new. They say they want to, have some training on the Pathways. And right now we have a person who, as I look around, she's like, nobody's training her, and I'm saying to myself, and I actually did speak up and say something toward the end, because if you set up 5 meetings with somebody, at least that a whole hour, and then they don't show up, or on another day they call you on the phone, but you're not on your computer, you can't show them what you need to. It's not a phone conversation. So it's things like that, and that's maybe more of a complaint about me being the VPE versus Pathways. And some people are just very intuitive. My daughter joined and she was like, she felt like it was very intuitive, but later she actually did say to me, well, Mom, I thought you were going to spend more time with me. And I'm like, for what? Because you already know how to get on, you know what to do next. And, I have to pay attention to people who are challenged. I guess I really think it comes down to the individual and their commitment. They have to make a commitment. Do not join a club, to me, just because you're trying to make the numbers. I know we've done that before, but those are the same people who they don't show up when you really need them. And then,
Okay. I really couldn't hear. Valerie, can you kind of quickly repeat what she just said? Some of the critical points.
Hey, Betsy, can you repeat that last piece
The
again?
very last part that I said, I think is more about me being the VPE and, not wanting to continue to make myself available to people who haven't made the commitment. And that in the past,
Okay.
I know that we've invited people because we want to make the numbers, but those are also the people who drop off or they show up and they never do a speech. They don't really get engaged as hard as you try to work. Not even just
Yeah.
everybody trying to engage them. It's difficult.
Yeah, I think what she's saying is, 'cause I know that you're playing a role as a VPE to get them started in pathways. What our club does is that we get them started 101 on what pathways is, and then we pass them on to a mentor. Now I don't know if you're having struggles of getting mentors, and I know you're going to touch on that, Valerie. But I think mentorship is really important because once the mentor does that one-on-one with them and help them develop a speech, then they will have to come back to you and say, hey, I would like to give a speech on this day. So I think that'll take the pressure off of you on trying to, get these individuals up to speed on pathways. It's just passing it on to a mentor to work with
Right.
them.
What I would do, what I would suggest is that you do an orientation shortly after your new members start, and if you can have a couple of mentors, have some of the mentors there with you, but to make sure that they're doing pathways and making sure that everybody has a mentor. It's really good if you have one of your longtime members take on that mentor role, or someone who's really gung-ho into pathways to teach them how to get into it. But I would do an orientation like on an off night or Saturday or a Sunday, and just reserve maybe an hour and a half and get them there, and then go through how to get into pathways, how to go through the levels. Another time you can in your club, you can be a speaker, and you could take a 7 to 10 minute time slot and go through some of that. You can also teach the members the free toast host if you guys are doing that. Your corporate clubs probably can't do that, but your individual community clubs can. So I would just recommend that you have a training with the mentors, and making sure that the mentors are trained. So everybody in the club can be a mentor. So, you could take a 5 minutes slot and do a little training on mentoring in your club. What are the requirements of a mentor for that member? So you could do that. Also in pathways after you complete the second level, there is a mentor path that'll pop up. It's not there, but after you complete the second level, it shows up. After you do the introductory mentor project. And it's a 6-month program. They can get certified as a mentor, and but they would need to document that with one member, or if they were a past VPE of membership or PR, they can mentor the new one for like 6 months and then, get that credit. So that's another way of getting the mentors. But I would make sure that mentors are trained, follow up with them monthly. How is the new member going, to keep them on track? And so that should help, but you shouldn't be responsible for them, but you do as a whole. So I would just do little 5-minute, 10-minute, 7-minute, 10-minute trainings. And especially when somebody doesn't show up to speak, you've got that empty spot. So hopefully that will help. So let's go on. And we got the speeches. We talked about getting them to sign up for roles. Do that before the meeting's over. keep encouraging people to give speeches. And if you see that someone hasn't given a speech for at least a couple of months, get them in. When are you going to give your next speech? Love to hear it. And the other thing that we have, we see is that in the members will give speeches, but they're not putting them into the path levels. So they're not getting credit. You're not getting credit. So what we do is we'll sit down with that member and walk them through it and get all their speeches in to keep track of their speeches to get into pathways. And then also, if you have free toast host, who does not have free toast host? Say me in the chat. That the free toast host is the agenda that looks like Toastmasters. It's not officially Toastmasters, but it was designed by 2 Toastmasters. Are there any me's in the chat, or does everybody have? I don't know why I can never see the chat. Oh, there's a chat.
Yes, I don't see anyone putting in information if they have I know we do have a free toast host at Southwood Speak Franks.
Okay.
Sally Boyd said she has one in her club that does assignments with the spreadsheet.
Okay.
And then Letitia says, what's your suggestion for corporate clubs? You mentioned that there's probably they don't use.
Yeah, you can check some clubs, some corporate clubs are not allowed to go on the internet other than the corporate internet. And so that's why I say that. Now, some corporate clubs might be able to. The login is freetoasthost.com, and it's just freetoasthost.com. And then you can take a look at it if you don't have it. It takes a little while to set it up, but once it's set up, it's great because the projects are dropped into the it's an agenda, it's a membership database, it's a leadership database, and it's also your web page where people can contact you from outside of the club about meeting, coming to a meeting. So it's a great program, app. But if the corporation, if you're not allowed to have that, then I would say just like keep a spreadsheet on it. That's probably the best way to do that, is to set up a spreadsheet. What you could do is do like a every week for a month. Well, you have each meeting, so you might have like three months on a spreadsheet, and then have the titles go down and then next to it a space for names to put in there, so you'll know where they fit in. So that's one way to keep track.
Okay, thank you.
So let me move on here. I want to we're running out of time. The distinguished program, Valerie, can you? So let me just say, who does not know what the distinguished program is? Put me in the chat. Does everybody know what the distinguished program is? Okay, I guess everybody knows what that is. So again, it's not the points. A lot of people say, I don't care about the distinguished program because it's not, we don't care about points in our club. And it's not about the points. It's like a report card. It's how your club is doing, and it's member excellence. Valerie, can you share it real quick?
Yes.
Oh, let me unshare. I guess I have to unshare. Stop share.
And let me know if you can see this.
Not yet.
It's a little slow.
There you go. There you go. So this is your DCP that we call a DCP. It's a distinguished program report card. I like to have a report card because that's the way you keep track of everything. These are automatic feeds from the district. So as soon as somebody submits a path, it will go, it'll take maybe 3, 4, 5 days to get into the system. When you get a new member, it'll update, but it might take a few days to also get updated. So I pull this up at least twice a month. Once or twice a month, I pull it up because I want to see where my clubs are. And so I will bring it up, at the beginning of the year. Okay, we want to be a 10 club, a 10-point club. All my clubs, our goal is to be a 10-point club. We like the award, but it also means that all of our members are giving their speeches and it's getting into pathways. It means that our officers are being trained. Again, our goal as a club is to be a 7-point, what do you call that, Valerie? The officers training.
Train, God.
Super 7. Our goal is to be a super 7. And if somebody doesn't show up to a training, they get a little handshake from me, not a handshake, but a little finger, because we could have been a super 7 club, but somebody didn't go. And there's trainings all over the place. I get people say, oh, I did the training. I've been a member for 28 years. Right now I'm in 3 clubs. I've been in up to 4 clubs. And if I'm an officer in a club, I get trained over and over and over again. So it's not just because you've been trained once. Each trainer gives you different information. And also, if you're not well trained, then how can we support our clubs? How can we support our members? So I would say that it's really important to do. And so if you look down under administration, those are the 2 freebies. They're easy. You just have to turn in your club dues on time, not April 1st, not October 1st, but before. Turn in your club officers on time. And on time is, when is that? There's a deadline for it. And make sure that you get your officers in by then. If you don't have all of them, then some of them. Just get them in, and then you can also, so let's say you only have 5 people that you submitted. That's fine. You got your officers list in, and then get the other 2 in there. And the officers list you get onto the Club Central now, and you go to international Toastmasters International under Club Central, and you can go in there and you can put in your officers there. So make sure that you do that. And those are 2 freebies now. The next is to get your officers trained. Shame on this club. They did 6 and 4. The 4 is a minimum. But then why should I go to training if you don't go to training? Why should Valerie go to training if I don't go to training? And then you have, well, they didn't go, so I don't have to go. And then that role doesn't get, the officer isn't completely trained in that role. So it should be 7. It should be 7. And then the others are your educational awards. So pull that up every time so that you can see where you're at. And then every couple of months, okay, we need to have, one more level 2. Who's going to have a level 2 within, the next month or so? Now, we only have 6 weeks. So right now is late to start thinking about this. And I know that you've probably been thinking about this already. So now is a critical point, making sure if you see people that have given speeches, but they're not showing up, then sit them down, go through their speeches, get them into pathways, get that reported on pathways. If someone is, so you want to find out who's going to be giving. Somebody needs a level 2. We also need 2 more level 2s. Everything else is good. So, make sure that you have somebody that's going to commit to getting those levels in so that you can get distinguished. Our goal is to be distinguished, but again, that's the minimum. We want to be distinguished or better. And that would be 10 points instead of 5. 5 is to be distinguished, 7 is select, 9 is president's distinguished. You missed it by 1. And the 8, they have 8 right now. So the goal is to have 9 or 10. And then you have to have the membership. Now, this is a really strong club. So they have 37 members in this club, in a strong club, but they're still missing 3 speeches. So somebody has those 3 speeches. And Valerie, you might want to check on them because they can be a 10. So it's Valerie's job now to make sure that the clubs are distinguished. So her role is to be, calling up you guys, VPEs, and say, hey, where are your 3 speeches? Where are your members? If you're down members, where are your members? So she'll be some of the clubs will be hearing from her. So thank you for showing that.
You're welcome.
And then let me go through. We only have a couple of more minutes. Okay. Engaging your members. So you want to make the club fun. If it's not fun, nobody wants to come. So what can you do to be engaging? You can, somebody can do one of their speeches can be a joke. So some clubs have a joke master. What we have in our clubs is a education. One of the slots is education or what do you call it? Joke. So it's an education or a joke. So that role will get filled by either an educational session, and that's where your VPEs can step in and do some of the roles, and then also humor. So I'm sorry, humor. So that's another way to get some lively fun in there. You can go in and do some improv. We do some improv, we do some storytelling, little exercises. You can actually go into Google now and Google, can you give me 5 games in under 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes for, storytelling, for leadership. And it'll give you some games. And so you can do that in the club, and it'll, just to do a 5-minute one. You can do a round robin storytelling where everyone tells one sentence and go around the room. And that should take like 10 minutes at the most. So those are ways of engaging the members. And then you want to also do awards for the levels when somebody completes a level. If you do give them a ribbon, a little award, give them the certificate of completion for that level. But then people say, oh, I want to get up in front, because everybody wants to be recognized. So that's another way of engaging your members and getting more fun in the club. So I think that's it. So any questions? Let's see. Let me
I do have
let me go here. This is my LinkedIn. Valerie Fuson on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. If you have any questions, take a picture of this, and then you can give me a call or send me a message on LinkedIn. So let me take this off. Yeah.
So there was one question from Bessie. I think I did reply to her. I just want to see if you have another perspective. So she said, well, we was going over the dashboard. What is your draw for new membership. Yeah.
Is
So
my,
I
sh-
know,
am I share, am I share it off?
yeah, your share is off.
Okay, cool. So what was that?
What is your draw for new membership?
Oh, for the draw for the events. What we do is my advanced club, and Valerie, you've been to my advanced club. We're 25, we're 25 to 25 members. And when we have an event, well, before COVID, we had an event, we would have 100 people
Yeah.
at a club event. Isn't that right, Valerie? We would have it, originally we'd have it in our location, but then we would actually move it because we're at Harper. They would give us a bigger room that max out at 100. And so we would, usually get, 90, 80 to 100 people signed up for an event. So what the key is to bring in someone that's a good speaker. What you can do is invite somebody to come in and speak on a certain topic. That'll be a draw. But you have to do more than just bring the speaker in. You have to promote it. And a lot of clubs, they don't promote till the day before. A friend of mine was invited to be a speaker for an open house, and he got there and nobody knew it was an open house. The members didn't know it was an open house. And he's there to speak for an open house. They didn't promote it. They didn't tell their members. So you gotta speak and promote it. And the minimum you want to do is a minimum of 4 weeks. And you can promote it on the Toastmaster, your Facebook group, and then also Meetup. Valerie, do you guys give Meetup to your club members? Oh, I can't hear you.
We used to long time ago, when we first became a district. But I think that we go towards what you call that, social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, because that's where people are hanging out at. Meetup is kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of dropped off,
Okay.
to be honest. Mhm.
Okay. Well, check and just see, maybe people forgot about it, but you're still paying for it. I don't know. But look into that. The other thing is Eventbrite is free.
Yeah.
As long as you're not charging, Eventbrite is free. So put your event on Eventbrite. Also, Facebook has a way to promote events. So when you go to post, and I'm not sure how you do it on Facebook, but on LinkedIn, I know there's a way to make it an event and then promote it and promote it and promote it. And then make sure you do have a Facebook group. So invite people from the Facebook group, because some people, just because they're a member at another club doesn't mean they're not looking for another club. I belong to 3 clubs right now. Most of my members in Toastmasters and Purpose belong to a minimum of 2 clubs. Srinivas is 5 clubs. So there's there's always opportunity to get a member from another club, another district. So, and I'm out of time. So if you have any questions, give them to Valerie, and then she can shoot them over to me, and then I'll be glad to answer them. Or she's a VPE.
Oh, yes.
She can answer them too. But I hope that you got some value out of our session today, and looking forward to working with you guys again. And who knows, we're neighbors. We might be connected again.
Yes, next year in 2026.
We might be one district again.
Yes. Thank you so much, Valerie, for being our guest speaker. I want everybody to stay on. Give Valerie Fuson a great hand clap, because I'm telling you, that's some great nuggets. And I'm just glad that you shared your experiences and and what we need to do to move forward. and to be very proactive and talking to those clubs and say, hey, who's going to do those speeches?